While the colonies continued to grow and prosper, a global struggle for North America was about to explode, one that would reshape the continent and set the stage for the American Revolution. Hello friends, I'm Jim Rand, your AI host for History in Decades. Today we step into the decade of 1750 to 1760, a time when the French and Indian War turned the American wilderness into a major battlefield. Tensions had been building for years over the rich lands of the Ohio River Valley, territory that today includes western Pennsylvania, Ohio, and parts of West Virginia and Kentucky. In 1754, a young George Washington led Virginia militia into the region. A skirmish at Jumonville Glen marked the beginning of open fighting. What we call the French and Indian War in America was actually the North American theater of a much larger global conflict, known as the 7 Years' War. While colonists fought in the forests, battles raged across Europe, India, the Caribbean, Africa, and the high seas. Britain and Prussia faced off against France, Austria, Spain, and their allies in the First True World War. In North America, British and colonial forces faced French troops and their Native American allies. Early years brought painful defeats. In 1755, General Edward Braddock's large expedition was ambushed and nearly destroyed near Fort Duquesne. Washington, serving as an aide, helped organize the chaotic retreat and gained hard-won experience. French commander the Marquis de Montcalm achieved notable victories, including the capture of Fort Oswego and the 1757 siege of Fort William Henry. The tide turned after 1757, when Britain committed massive resources under the leadership of William Pitt the Elder. Colonial militias played crucial roles alongside British regulars. Major victories followed: the recapture of Louisbourg, the fall of Fort Duquesne, later renamed Fort Pitt, and the decisive Battle of Quebec in 1759 on the Plains of Abraham. Both British General James Wolfe and Montcalm were killed in that epic clash. By 1760, Montreal had surrendered, effectively ending French power in North America. For ordinary families, the war brought immense hardship. Frontier raids destroyed farms and homes. Many were killed or taken captive. Men left their fields to serve in the militia, while women and children often managed homesteads alone. Churches became vital centers of prayer, comfort, and community support. The lingering spirit of the Great Awakening helped many find strength and meaning amid the suffering. The economic heart of the conflict was the fur trade, which tied European powers and native tribes together in a complex web of commerce and rivalry. The war devastated many native communities and forever altered the balance of power on the continent. When the fighting in North America largely ended in 1760, Britain had won a stunning victory, but at a tremendous cost. The global 7 Years' War left Britain with enormous debt. This debt would soon lead to new taxes on the American colonies and growing friction between Britain and her subjects. Notable figures of the decade. George Washington emerged as a respected leader despite early setbacks. The lessons he learned in the forests and on the battlefield would serve him well in the future. William Pitt the Elder provided the bold strategy and resources from Britain that turned the tide of the war. The Marquis de Montcalm and James Wolfe both showed courage and skill, meeting their ends at the dramatic Battle of Quebec. We also saw the early lives of many who would later shape the American Revolution, formed by the experiences of this global conflict. If you want an even deeper dive into this war, including how Hollywood portrayed it in films like The Last of the Mohicans and The Patriot, be sure to check out our bonus episode titled French and Indian War: History versus Hollywood. It's available now wherever you listen to the podcast. Closing reflection. The 1750s showed the high price of global ambition and the remarkable resilience of ordinary people caught in the middle of empire-sized struggles. While nations fought for territory and trade, colonial families kept building, praying, and supporting one another. They learned hard lessons about vigilance, self-reliance, and the cost of war, lessons that would prove essential in the fight for liberty that lay ahead. Stability isn't given to us. It must be guarded by vigilant, self-reliant people who are committed to passing it on to the next generation. If you're finding value in these episodes, please take a moment to rate and review the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen. It really helps the podcast grow. And if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who would appreciate learning from the past. That's how we build something meaningful together. I'm Jim Rand. Thanks for listening to History in Decades. Until next time, stay rooted in the lessons history provides.